You ever have one of those moments, where something happens that feels impossible, like a glitch in the matrix, a moment that's just too perfect, too weird to be random chance? Well, today we're diving into exactly that. Is it all just coincidence, or is something much, much bigger going on?
You know how it starts. It's usually something small. You just happen to glance at the clock, and boom, it's 11:11. The first time, you don't think much of it, but then it happens again and again, and suddenly it feels less like a coincidence and more like a quiet little tap on the shoulder from the universe.
Or how about this one? This is a classic. An old friend you haven't spoken to in, a decade? They just pop into your head out of nowhere. You're smiling, wondering what they're up to, and then your phone rings. It's them. I mean, come on. It's that spooky moment that feels way too specific to just be random.
Or maybe you're at a crossroads, totally lost, wrestling with a huge decision. And then, sitting on the bus or in a coffee shop, you overhear a complete stranger say the one sentence that cuts right through all your confusion. It's like a piece of advice dropped from the sky, just for you.
That's the feeling, isn't it? It just stops you dead in your tracks, the hair on your arm stands up, and for a split second, the solid world you thought you knew feels, kind of flexible. It's a glitch, a little tear in the fabric of what's supposed to happen.
So, what if these aren't just random glitches? What if it's more than our brains playing tricks on us? What if it's a language? And what if the universe is trying to get our attention?
This is where we actually put a name to that feeling. The legendary psychologist Carl Jung, he called it synchronicity. He was fascinated by this stuff. He said these aren't just coincidences. They are meaningful coincidences. They create this incredible bridge between what you're thinking on the inside and what's happening on the outside.
And right here, this is the great divide. Skeptics will tell you, look, it's just math. It's probability. If you look at the clock enough times, of course you're going to see 11:11. But Jung saw something so much deeper. He believed these weren't random at all. They were patterns, maybe even messages, designed to guide us right when we need it most.
So how could this even work? Well, one idea has to do with your brain's own bouncer, basically. It's called the Reticular Activating System, or RAS. Its job is to filter out almost everything so you can focus. But when you're asking a big question or going through a huge life change, that filter kind of thins out, and you suddenly start noticing things that were there all along. You're not going crazy, you're just tuning into a different frequency.
Okay, so it turns out these messages, they don't all show up in the same way. They tend to arrive in three pretty distinct forms, ranging from just a little hint to something that totally shatters your reality. Let's break them down.
You've got the nudge, the echo, and the impossible probability. And each one has a different job to do, It could be a gentle little course correction or a massive wake-up call. Figuring out which one you're experiencing is really the first step to understanding what's going on.
So let's start with number one, the nudge. This is the classic. This is the one everybody knows. The repeating numbers, 1111 on your phone, 222 on a license plate, an order total of 444. It's the universe's way of just gently tapping you on the shoulder and saying, psst, hey, pay attention right now.
Now this is the most important part. The number itself is not the message. Think of it like a save point in a video game. The game is telling you to pause and check your inventory. The universe is telling you to stop and check your thoughts. What were you just thinking about? A new business idea? That number might be a cosmic green light. Were you stuck in a negative thought loop? Maybe it's a gentle hint to change the channel.
Then we have type 2, the echo. This is when your inner world gets reflected back to you by the outer world, like instantly. If you spend your whole day obsessing over not having enough money, you get home and there's a surprise bill in the mail. But if you can shift your focus to gratitude, to trust, maybe you'll find a $20 bill on the sidewalk. The universe becomes a giant mirror, just showing you what you're putting out there.
And then there's type 3, the impossible probability. This is the showstopper. This one is designed to just shock you awake. Jung's most famous story is about a patient who is telling him about a dream she'd had of a golden scarab. And at that exact moment, a rare beetle that looked just like a scarab started tapping on his office window. The sheer, mind-blowing impossibility of that event was exactly what she needed to break through her rational defenses.
Okay, so you're starting to notice these things happening, the nudges, the echoes. The big question is, what do you do with it? How do you actually read these signs without just going off the deep end?
All right, here's the deal. The first rule is do not become obsessed. The real key is feeling, not overthinking. A genuine synchronicity feels different. It's electric. It's uncanny.
It comes with this gut feeling, like an instant download of information where you just know that this moment is important. The idea isn't to just sit around waiting for signs. It's about acting on that feeling, following those breadcrumbs, and walking the path that opens up.
But, and this is a huge but, there's a trap here. You have to be aware of something called apophenia. That's the technical term for our tendency to see patterns where there aren't any. If you start thinking the cracks in the sidewalk are sending you secret messages about your love life, you've probably gone a little too far. It has to have that feeling of significance, that electric jolt. You can't just force it.
So as you get more comfortable with this, as you start to trust this kind of subtle communication, you might begin to experience an even deeper and honestly more unsettling glitch in the system.
It's that dizzying, weird wave of familiarity. You walk into a building for the very first time, but you swear you know what's around the next corner. You meet a complete stranger, but you feel like you've known them your whole life. This time, it's not a sign pointing you forward. It feels like a memory of something that hasn't happened yet. We call it déjà vu.
Now, is this just a simple brain error, a neurological misfiring? Some scientists suggest it's just a tiny lag in your brain's processing speed that creates a false sense of memory. And that's the perfectly logical, conventional explanation.
But what if it points to something way more radical about the nature of reality itself? Could déjà vu actually be a crack in the illusion of linear time? A hint that the past, present, and future aren't nearly as separate as we think they are.
And that leads us to the final, really mind-bending question. Is it possible you've been here before? That this life is a path you've already walked, maybe many times, and that feeling of déjà vu is just a fleeting moment where you remember a line from the script?
That feeling, that sense of reliving a moment, it forces us to question the very fabric of time itself. And that's exactly where we're headed. If you've ever had that strange, impossible memory of the future, you're going to want to join us as we explore the true nature of time in our next explainer.